On Brad Gillis, Ozzy commented, "Well, he's a different style guitar player on stage, but he plays all the licks. To get somebody as good as Randy, I've given up trying to look, because after the death of Randy, I was very bitter for a long while. And to anybody who came along and auditioned, I said, 'Go, I don't want to know.' I was trying to find the same kind of guitar player, and you can't. Randy was a one-off. Let's face it, you can't get anyone to beat Randy because he was the best. But Brad's near enough. I mean, you've got to give people a chance. It's a pretty big hole to fill in. I don't think many people could ever stand where Randy stood, and you've got to give anybody who tries to stand in credit for what they're doing." In his typical dysfunctional way, Ozzy had gone through the stages of grief out of sequence, Sarzo explained. It wasn't until a month after the crash that he began to enter his anger stage. At this point, Ozzy began drinking heavily again and started acting resentful towards Brad, and urged Sharon to continue looking for another guitar player. It was rather disturbing to watch Brad, who was doing a great job, being verbally abused by an inebriated Ozzy. By the end of April, Ozzy's drinking and hostility towards Gillis worsened. On May 2nd, Sharon suddenly put the tour on hold and sent the band back to Los Angeles to prevent Ozzy from having a complete meltdown. Once the band arrived in Los Angeles, Ozzy plunged into his longest binge and embarked on his quest to find the next guitar hero. One evening, Sarzo wrote, a friend picked Ozzy up and drove him to a rehearsal studio where he was introduced to a young local guitar player named Marq Torien. Before the young man played a single note, the friend made sure that Ozzy was in the right mood by pumping him with enough blow to stun a rhinoceros. "I can't bloody believe it. He's great. He's the next big thing," Ozzy yelled as he jumped around the room while Marq churned a flurry of guitar riffs and hammer-ons. "That's it. I want you to start rehearsing tomorrow with Rudy and Tommy," Ozzy told Marq, as the friend shoved more blow up Ozzy's nostrils. The next afternoon, Tommy and I went down to rehearse with Ozzy's latest discovery. Halfway into Crazy Train, Tommy and I looked at each other in total disbelief. "Damn, that's some new kind of information coming out of your guitar, boy," Tommy said in total frustration as he threw his drumsticks on the ground. "What do you mean?" Marq asked, confused. "For starters, it sounds like a freaking train wreck. You haven't played a right chord pattern or solo yet. Have you heard the record?" "Well, yeah," Marq replied. "And you can't tell what you're playing is in the wrong key?" "Well, it sounds fine to me," Marq said. Tommy and I just looked at each other and shook our heads. "We've got to call Sharon right now and nip this in the bud." The next morning, Ozzy resisted our advice. "Well, how about if we bring him on the road like we did with Brad and break him in during the sound check?" "Ozzy, you don't understand," Tommy insisted. "The kid can't tell whether he's playing in the right key or not. He just doesn't get it, and he might never get it." "Oh, bloody hell. Well, all right then. I'll call him and tell him he's not going to work out." After exhausting all possibilities in Los Angeles, Sharon and Ozzy flew to England to continue their search for the next big thing. Knowing how much Ozzy and Sharon loved and respected Randy, I don't think they were trying to replace him. More than likely, this was just another one of Ozzy's dysfunctional ways to deal with acceptance. I don't think he was looking to replace Randy. He was looking for Randy himself.